May 22, 2010, Jacksonville, Florida. A programmer named Laszlo Hanyecz makes history with the most expensive meal ever purchased. 2. Papa John's Pizzas. Cost? 10,000 bitcoins. Today's value? Over $400 million. This is the story you think you know. But what you're about to discover goes far deeper than a regrettable pizza purchase. This is a tale of obsession, betrayal, lost fortunes, and the greatest financial revolution of our time. Welcome to Billionaires Playbook, October 31st, 2008. The world is collapsing. Lehman Brothers has fallen. Banks are being bailed out with taxpayer money. Trust in the financial system has shattered. And on a cryptography mailing list, buried among technical discussions, a white paper appears. Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. 9 pages, authored by someone calling themselves Satoshi Nakamoto. Nobody knows who Satoshi is, nobody knows where they came from. But within those 9 pages lies a blueprint that will create over $1 trillion in value and threaten the very foundations of central banking. The concept is revolutionary but simple. Money without banks, transactions without intermediaries, a currency controlled by mathematics, not governments. But here's what most people miss. Satoshi wasn't just creating digital money. They were declaring war on the entire financial establishment. January 3rd, 2009. Satoshi mines the first Bitcoin block. Embedded in its code, a message. The Times, March 1st, 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. A timestamp, a statement, a middle finger to the system. For 18 months, Satoshi works tirelessly, refining the code, responding to questions, building the foundation. Then, in April 2011, they vanish. No goodbye, no explanation. Just a final email to a developer. I've moved on to other things. To this day, Satoshi's identity remains one of the greatest mysteries in modern history. Their Bitcoin wallet holds over 1 million coins, worth billions, untouched since 2010. Satoshi's greatest innovation wasn't the technology. It was the exit. By disappearing, they ensured Bitcoin could never be controlled by a single person. They sacrificed potential wealth beyond imagination for an ideal. Can you do that? Walk away from billions for a principle? 2011 to 2013. Bitcoin is worth pennies, then dollars. The only people paying attention? Cryptographers, libertarians, drug dealers, and a handful of visionaries who see what others can't. Enter the Winklevoss twins. Yes, those Winklevoss twins from Facebook fame. In 2012, while Bitcoin trades at $8, they invest $11 million, acquiring approximately 1% of all Bitcoins in existence. Their friends think they've lost their minds. The media mocks them. But Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss understand something fundamental. Scarcity creates value. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins. Ever. But Bitcoin's early years aren't just about believers. They're about darkness. Suddenly, this revolutionary technology has a PR nightmare. Bitcoin becomes synonymous with crime. The FBI is watching. Governments worldwide are paying attention. And a young libertarian named Ross Ulbricht, operating as Dread Pirate Roberts, is building an empire that will gross over $200 million. October 2013. FBI agents walk into a San Francisco library. They approach a young man on his laptop, logged into the Silk Road's admin panel. Ross Ulbricht is arrested. He's 29 years old. He's sentenced to life in prison without parole. 2 life sentences plus 40 years. For a website. Love him or hate him, Ulbricht's story reveals a brutal truth about innovation. Being first into a new frontier is dangerous. The pioneers take the arrows. The settlers build the towns. Every revolution needs infrastructure. For Bitcoin, that infrastructure was the exchanges. Places where you could trade dollars for digital coins. And the biggest was Mt. Gox. At its peak in 2013, Mt. Gox handled 70% of all Bitcoin transactions worldwide. Its founder, Mark Karplus, was a 28-year-old French programmer living in Tokyo, more interested in his cat than in security protocols. This will matter. February 2014, users start reporting problems. Withdrawals are delayed, then frozen. Then the announcement that changes everything. 850,000 Bitcoins are missing. $450 million gone. Bitcoin's price crashes 60%. Skeptics declare it dead. Media proclaims the experiment over. But here's what they missed. Bitcoin doesn't die. The price fell from $1,100 to $200. It recovered. It always recovers. Why? Because Bitcoin isn't about the exchanges. It's not about any single company or person. It's an idea, and ideas, once unleashed, are impossible to kill. For entrepreneurs watching this, understand. Infrastructure will fail. Companies will collapse. But if your core innovation solves a real problem, it will survive the body count. 2017. The sleeping giant awakens. Bitcoin begins the year at $1,000. Whispers turn to conversations. Conversations turn to obsession. Your Uber driver is talking about blockchain. Your grandmother is asking how to buy Bitcoin. The mania is intoxicating. By December, Bitcoin hits $19,000. People are remortgaging homes to buy in. Stories of overnight millionaires flood social media. A teenager in Idaho turns $5,000 into over $1 million. College students become crypto advisors. But this isn't just about Bitcoin anymore, it's about everything. Ethereum, Litecoin, thousands of new cryptocurrencies, each promising to be the next big thing. Anyone with a white paper and a dream can attract millions in investment. It's the dot-com bubble on steroids. And like all bubbles, it pops. December 2017, Bitcoin reaches $19,665. Then it falls, and keeps falling. By December 2018, it's at $3,000, 85% loss. Trillions in market value evaporate. The media declares Bitcoin dead. Again, for the 100th time. Billionaire Warren Buffett calls it rat poison squared. Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan calls it a fraud. The doubters feel vindicated, but the true believers? They're buying. March 2020. The world locks down. Governments print trillions in stimulus money. The Federal Reserve's balance sheet explodes. And suddenly, Bitcoin's value proposition crystallizes. Limited supply in an age of infinite money printing. Institutional investors arrive. Bitcoin isn't just for anarchists and speculators anymore. It's a legitimate asset class. Digital gold. November 2021. Bitcoin reaches $69,000. The Winklevoss twins' $11 million bet is now worth billions. Early adopters who held through the crashes are generational wealthy. But the story doesn't end there. 2022 brings another crash. Crypto companies collapse. FTX, the third largest exchange, implodes in spectacular fashion. Its founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, goes from billionaire to convicted felon, sentenced to 25 years for fraud. The cycle repeats. So what does Bitcoin's untold story teach us? The Winklevoss twins didn't buy Bitcoin at $1. They bought at $8. Plenty of people bought cheaper and sold early. Conviction separates the wealthy from the merely lucky. Satoshi understood that a leader is a vulnerability. By removing themselves, they made Bitcoin unstoppable. As an entrepreneur, ask yourself, is your business dependent on you, or can it survive without you? Third, revolutions are messy. Ross Ulbricht is in prison. Mt. Gox users lost everything. Sam Bankman-Fried will spend decades behind bars. Innovation has casualties. The question isn't whether there will be failures, but whether the innovation survives them. Banks called Bitcoin a scam. Governments tried to ban it. Media declared it dead hundreds of times. Now, banks are buying it. Governments are regulating it. Media is covering it seriously. What does your industry say is impossible? That might be your opportunity. And finally, scarcity creates value. 21 million Bitcoin. That's it. That's all there will ever be. In a world of infinite money printing, absolute scarcity is revolutionary. What can you create that's genuinely scarce? Today, Bitcoin sits at over $50,000. Its market capitalization exceeds $1 trillion. It's held by countries, corporations, and millions of individuals worldwide. Laszlo Hanyecz, the pizza guy? He doesn't regret his purchase. He helped prove Bitcoin could be used as currency. Without transactions, there's no economy. Without an economy, there's no value. He played his part in history. Satoshi Nakamoto remains a ghost. Their billion-dollar wallet untouched. A monument to conviction over greed. The Winklevoss twins became Bitcoin billionaires, vindicated after years of mockery. And the revolution? It's just beginning. Bitcoin's story isn't about technology, it's about human nature. greed and fear, vision and doubt. The courage to believe in something when everyone else calls you crazy. Every great fortune starts with an idea everyone else thinks is insane. The question is, do you have the conviction to hold through the chaos? This is Billionaires Playbook, where we uncover the untold stories behind the world's greatest fortunes. The strategies the media misses, the lessons the textbooks won't teach you. If this story opened your eyes to what's possible, imagine what else you're missing. Subscribe to Billionaires Playbook for more untold stories of business empires, the minds that built them, and the lessons that can build yours. Because the next billion-dollar idea, it might just sound as crazy as digital money once did.